Masquerade saying, Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel, Zim Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana karike kutanga kuyapa nino channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana uchingwa garoka subscriber, don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasi muri Zimbabwe, takuigira inyaya yabuditswa na Job Sikhala. Job Sikhala uyo akabvisirwa mhosva dzake dzaaipomerwa pakabuda pachora Job Sikhala was wrongfully imprisoned muri Zimbabwe since akaiswa mujeri for mhosva dzanga asina kupara muri Zimbabwe. Inova nyaya yarodza mazhinji and funga Job Sikhala akaspenda almost 2 years ari mujeri muri Zimbabwe. Maelections akaitwa Job Sikhala akavharirwa funga yakabudawo zvakare achitora achiti hanzi the regime yaitya kuti ikamureleasa he was going to challenge President Emerson Mnangagwa because hanzi he knew kuti he was a key member, a key figure mu elections akaitwa mugore 2023. So the news works yakabuda chitora pamusoro penyaya vachitora Job Sikhala is now a free man, but he's furious what took place back in the country. But actually he's a lawyer and he knows his rights and achawanirwa achima exercise muri Zimbabwe. The news works yakabuda chitora achiti Sikhala wrongful imprisonment, consequences of persecution, and the High Court's quashing of 2 convictions of opposition leader Job Sikhala. The one plotting to incite public violence, and the one publishing false statements prejudicial to the state means the vocal activist was jailed for 595 days for an offense he did not commit, a grave injustice. This wrongful conviction and imprisonment occurred due to authorities' political interests in the cases, which makes it clear case of persecution by prosecution, a trusted weapon of authoritarian regimes. Sikhala's imprisonment at the notorious Chikurubi maximum security prison for almost 2 years for doing nothing wrong was not just a case of mistaken identity, false confession, but a product of political mechanization and authoritarian repression. The consequences of wrongful imprisonment through malicious pre-trial detention meant Sikhala unjustly endured loss of freedom, emotional trauma, economic hardship, loss of income and financial stability, social stigma, and family suffering. Justice should always prioritize truth and fairness, and it must not only be done, but also seem to be done. In the Sikhala cases, there was no truth, no fairness, and justice was done at all. Delivering a speech at the United Nations Geneva Summit on Human Rights and Democracy on 15 May, Sikhala described in graphic detail the mechanics and consequences of his wrongful imprisonment. He said, "They kept me caged in solidarity confinement, day and night, always in chains. I was denied food and visits from relatives, colleagues and friends, access to reading materials and prayers from a religious leader of my choice. I'm a lawyer, I know my rights, I know how corrupt and cruel Zimbabwe's regime can be. Still, I was shocked. I had to seek multiple court orders to assert my rights. When I became sick with severe diarrhea and vomiting, they denied me the medical doctor of my choice. When I got sick for the second time, I was passing heavy blood. They kept me chained to a hospital bed for the entirety of my treatment. Despite being on a sleeping dose, the regime made me face 5 trials. They blackmailed my initial legal team, led by Beatrice Mutetwa, to stop them from representing me. They threatened my lawyer, Harrison Komo, by pointing a gun to his forehead. In the end, the state denied me legal representation on the commencement of my trial, when my lawyer, Jeremiah Bamu, and Harrison Komo were attending other cases in the superior courts, and the court proceeded with my trial. Endless postponement to the conclusion of my cases was the order of the day to just keep me in their caged solidarity confinement. They procured 2 convictions against me, one from a law that does not even exist. They insulted my character, labeling me an unrepentant and incongruent criminal, and bail rulings pronounced me guilty before the trial even started. Innocent until proven guilty does not apply to anyone who dares to stand up to Mnangagwa's corrupt regime. While I was in prison, they destroyed my legal practice. I founded my office looted and my furniture scattered in different locations. Mnangagwa's regime systematically destroyed me politically, socially, and economically. I came out and found everything ruined, and they didn't stop there. More Blessing Ali's family refused to bury a body until my release. We were all extremely emotional when the day finally arrived, but they unleashed a drunken mob of disruptors onto the burial to sing obscenities against me and disrupted the funeral, and no one was arrested up to date. Imagine that your beloved daughter and mother have been brutally murdered and cut into pieces, and you can't even hold a private or respectful funeral to bury her. Family also became a victim of persecution. My beloved wife, Ellen, was unjustly arrested for a spurious road traffic offense. They convicted her and confiscated her driver's license to prevent her from bringing me food in prison. Her driver's license has not yet been returned by the regime up to date, and it's not just my family. Everyone associated with me has been persecuted. So kutaura kwatiriikuita job Sikhala ari kunzi he is happy kuti mhosva dzake dzabviswa, but he is furious. Vaendera mberi, the news also achiti after his convictions for plotting to incite public violence and for communicating false statements were quashed by the High Court yesterday, opposition gladiator Job Sikhala says he is infuriated by the suffering and injustice he endured for doing nothing wrong. He said, "For 595 days I was thrown in solitary confinement, shackled in chains like a terrorist, and suffered the most horrible abuse any person can be put under by the criminal regime in Harare for allegedly inciting public violence to revenge the gruesome murder of More Blessing Ali. I told all who cared to listen to me that I did not commit any crime in my professional calling to represent the Ali family. I told all of you that it was the evilness that resided in the hearts of those who ran our country and was political persecution to remove me from the 2023 general elections. The High Court sat in Harare to hear my 2 appeals, one fake conviction of publishing falsehoods and another one for inciting public violence to revenge the death of Ali. The High Court acquitted me in the 2 cases. There was concurrence by the state that the first case was wrong conviction based on the law that does not exist at all. In the second case of Ali, the state agreed that there was no evidence at all showing that I incited anyone. To those who have been used to persecute me, my family, and everyone associated with me, remember there is a God in heaven. Your day of judgment shall also come. The nonsense peddled that the judiciary is captured when it comes to political prisoners is as absurd and scandalous as its peddlers. Where there is no evidence that even a village crowd would convict anyone, it leaves any judiciary officer of dignity with no option but to uphold the law and his or her own dignity by throwing away fake convictions. This was the situation in this case. Tozvabuda kutaura Job Sikhala tingaziva kuti munoona sei nyaya iyi tiudzewo zvamukufunga pamusoro penyaya iyi mucomment section.